In the world of Piratecraft, a series of ambitious towers have risen up. Each of these structures is competing to claim the title of the tallest and greatest in the world. The Palazzonissimo is one of them. It's a leading example of architecture, built entirely in survival mode. It is one of the most iconic wonders of the Juice Pirates. We are at Watermelon Dock. It's located on the northern coast of the Juice Sea, which is one of the many oceans of the pirate team server Piratecraft. Like many of our towns, Watermelon Dock uses materials from its local environment to build its houses. Here it's impossible to sail through the canals of this city without the constant urge to watch high above in the sky. The tall buildings you see here are called palazzoni by the local inhabitants. But there was a time when the landscape was actually quite different, but in a way also pretty similar. This is the dawn of Watermelon Dock. There were no palazzoni, instead we had these magnificent spires rising up from the red sand. It's almost as if this land was naturally destined to reach the sky. The first shelter of the original settlers was built right here, on top of the clay spires that dominate the valley. In the beginning, the inhabitants imagined a very different city from what it would actually become. In fact, the old town is not located at the top, but down here. It's a messy mix of houses, food farms and small forts, surrounded by a wall full of holes. Watermelon Dock used to be surrounded by a bad neighborhood. On the northern side there was Mess, a bandit who lived in an underground bunker. On the southern one there was Admiral Trench, a member of the Asylum, a crew of raiders who have always been at war with the Juice Pirates. But Watermelon has gone through some problems that were much worse than its bad neighbors. At that time, a group of babies had settled down in Watermelon Dock. They were a bit chaotic and used to wear only underwear, but they helped us. They seemed friendly, but actually, they were hacking wizards. So what happened? We later got attacked by a group of ruthless raiders called Templars, people who plunder innocent crews without restraint. And these babies started defending themselves with never seen before magic spells, in other words, cheats. Hackers are illegal and there is a constant witch hunt on Piratecraft, so the Templars alerted the people of Piratecraft, who lit their torches and came over for the crusade. We remember this episode as the Great Purge. The babies were obviously banned, but the whole crew of the Juice Pirates was suspected of being complicit with them. It was only through an extremely long trial that I managed to save my crewmates from total wipeout. Once the purge was over, the city of Watermelon Dock could start growing again. But there was a problem. The people of Watermelon were feeling nostalgia for the clouds. Thus, the project of the Palazzoni was born. On top of a network of canals, Watermelon Dock would have become a mixture of New York and Venice. The discovery of a new skeleton spawner right next to the city had allowed the inhabitants to have plenty of bone. Together with clay, bone blocks had quickly become the main building material of Watermelon Dock. The blueprints for the Palazzoni were modular. Each floor of the building was identical to the others, so anyone could help construction, even those who thought they had no talent in building. In order to make room for the future, the old clay spires had to be removed. But Watermelonians are nostalgic people, so they actually built a palazzone right around the spire. This place has now become a museum, because we the Juice Pirates care a lot about history. This enormous skyscraper is called Palazzonissimo, and it reaches Minecraft's sky limit of 256 blocks. In the underground floors, we have the 1943. It's a villager farm that produces enchanted books. It's called this way because it is exactly 19 blocks wide and 43 blocks long. This is rare footage of the construction of the palazzoni. The working men who built them are a special breed. They worked without harnesses or safety ropes, spending 8-hour shifts in the clouds. These jobs are very dangerous, many of them fall to their deaths. Among them you could find chocolate men, cake men, or men without teeth. People of all kinds who work together to overcome the human limits. In order to motivate each other, the people of Watermelon love to scream palazzoni all the time. But Watermelonians had another secret motivation for all their efforts. There was a friendly rivalry with the people of Marula Island. These two were our most populous towns. Each of them wanted to surpass each other in majesty. While Marulans were building aqueducts, libraries, coliseums, the Watermelonians instead were building the palazzoni, the casino, the great port. And let's not forget the bar in the attic, the funniest and happiest place in town. The residents of Watermelon Dock were excellent chefs, and here you could eat cookies and cakes of all kinds. An important thing to mention is that Watermelonians shared the same storage room. This is a very rare thing to do in a hostile world like Piratecraft, because there is always the risk that someone will steal everything and run away. Nobody has ever stolen anything in Watermelon Dock. We wanted to build a society where people are not driven by mundane desires like fame or wealth. However, we were still far from perfect. It happened once that one of our crewmates has taken advantage of shared farms to enrich himself and killed his own crewmates. Sadly, we had to expel him, but he launched a terrorist attack on one of the skyscrapers for revenge. So, through thick and thin, Watermelon Dock is still a magnificent city. The last structure built by its people was the sea train that connected Watermelon Dock with Marula Island, which has healed the rivalry between Watermelon and Marula. The Watermelonians have gone now, but their beloved palazzoni are still scraping the sky to this day.